Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are tuning in from. We are officially live and we want to welcome everyone in. Again, we are officially live and we want to give everyone time to join on in. All right. So hopefully the notification will go out very soon. And we'll be ready to get started. I appreciate everyone taking their time out today to join. Thank you very much. As you are coming in, please let me know where you are tuning in from. I just want to check my mic and then I'll be ready to go ahead and get this party started. I like to be respectful of your time. My name is Dakisha Williams. All right. Yep. The notification just went out. So let's go. I'm going to mute this. Hello, everyone. Come on in. We're going to talk today about monetizing webinars. And so I'd love to know if you are using webinars in your business. As you join in, do me a favor and type in the chat, where are you tuning in from? So if this is your first time joining me, let me know in the chat as well that this is your first time. I appreciate you guys coming on. Hi, hey, C Marie. C Marie is so super faithful. So glad to see you. It looks like the notification just went out. So welcome in. My name is Dakisha Williams. I am a webinar strategist, business strategist, and today we are here to talk about how to really monetize webinars. And so Sharon says she's not done webinars, but it is in her roadmap. And so that's who I really want to talk to today. Those of you that are looking to implement webinars in your business this year in 2026. So thank you so much for giving me your time. I'm going to talk you guys through this and I'm going to be respectful of your time. But again, I appreciate you for joining. So just real quick, Sharon Alexandra, so VA. So I am from VA as well. I am right outside of Richmond, Virginia. So we've got Philadelphia, another VA. Okay, Ricky. And then Sharon, this is your first time. Mike, we did have a chance to talk last week. So, all right. So if it's all right with you guys, I want to go ahead and get started. I promise you that you will not be disappointed. So Kev, okay, Kev, NYC, welcome. Do me a favor and let me know what it is that you guys do. What's your business? What type of business do you have? Like, this is a place, this is LinkedIn, okay? So this is a place of networking as well. But I do want to tell you just a little bit about me, because this may or may not be your first time hearing about this Dakisha Williams. You know, her title says webinar queen, but yeah, what really makes her qualified? So how many of you, under the sound of my voice, how many of you are using like social media to post online, but it's not converting into clients or conversations? And then a lot of people that I speak to are very unclear about how to talk about their offer or how to invite people into what we consider to be their signature offer. So I speak on webinars as a subject matter expert in supply chain, but I want to use them for my fractional chief procurement officer business, helping small businesses grow. Absolutely. And what I love about the actual webinars is that it's your opportunity to speak one-to-many versus one-to-one sales conversations. Now, don't get me wrong, I do them and they work. But when we are looking to get our message out to the masses, webinars and workshops are truly still very, very efficient and effective marketing strategies. So if any of these on the screen resonate with you, type a 1 in the chat. Like, I got to be honest. Are you afraid to follow up because it feels like pushy or you feel desperate? I know some of my clients, they be like, I don't want to be really, really salesy, Keisha. I don't want to be really, really salesy. Okay. A lot of people say that they've tried other strategies and still not getting clients. So just a little bit about me. And I promise you, I'm going to try my best to talk through this really fast. But I am a 2023 EPSI Award, which is an Excellence in Professional Speaking, voted Best Business Consultant by the Small Business Expo, Women Add Value Recognition Award. We generated $100,000 minimum in revenue since 2019 without ads. So the reason why I put that is because we did all of this without ads. All right. I have built 3 revenue generating brands that is including the consulting business. We have a VA business and we have a publishing company. I've been featured in several publications. All right. So I'm not new to this. What do kids say? I'm true to this. Do they still say that? Or am I aging myself? So being a webinar strategist has allowed me to be present and available to both of my children on their journey. I always like to say, are any Aggies in the house? And I know that there's a little delay. So if you are Aggie, do me a favor and let me get some Aggie pride in the chat. Okay. Sandra, you do use webinars in your business. I love that. And how have they been working out for you? So I've been on this journey for 15 years. All right. So when I started this journey, my kids were 5 and 11. The one on the left she'll be 26 this year. The one on the right turned 20 last month. Okay. And so it has allowed me to not miss any of her meets. So both of my kids did go to college on full athletic scholarships. Okay. So I believe, this is just me. Y'all talk to me. I believe that we are in business for a lifestyle, to create the lifestyle that we deserve and desire. And I want you to type that in the chat. Deserve and desire. Can I get an Aggie pride? I knew it was coming. And so, again, blessed to have my son as an Aggie. So I'm an Aggie mom, and he's on a full ride down in North Carolina A&T. They're dealing with some weather this week as well. Thank you. Hey, Zena. And so, all right, so let's just go ahead and get right in it. And I saw several of you that are looking to learn more about webinars and enrolling clients in your signature program. And so I use social media for my business and my clients, affiliate links for my book sales, paid speaking gigs from followers on LinkedIn. Congratulations, you're preparing for your first TED Talk. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can use webinars to actually build a brand and get clients simultaneously. All right. So I know that there's like a little bit of delay, but it's all good. We're going to keep going. Now, those that I am talking to, I don't think this refers to any of you, but if you're not willing to do the work, listen, I don't even know how you make it in business. It's not a quick fix. This is something that you have to do, rinse and repeat consistently in your business. So let me tell you this, and you don't need my permission for me to tell you this. People will pay you if you help them solve a problem today. Can I get an amen? Sorry, I forgot what platform I was on. All right, but people will pay you if you help them solve a problem today. You just have to get your message out in front of the right audience. Let me tell you how I started using webinars. Because truth be told, I wasn't always making 6 figures in business. That's not how it started. And so I was tapped on the shoulder in 2014 to come to Maryland. Any Maryland folks in the house? To come to Maryland to teach other people how to make 6 figures using webinars in their business. And I wasn't even making 6 figures. But the way that my level of integrity is set up, my friends, is that I said, okay, well, wait. Before we do that, let me make sure this thing that I'm teaching actually works. So here's what I did, Sandra. We went out and did 8 webinars in 30 days. 8 webinars in 30 days. Somebody type 8 in the chat. 8 webinars in 30 days. Now, here's what I learned. Because again, 8 webinars. Consistency, right? Visibility. So, but we ended up generating $15,000 in commission. Type commission. And here's where it opened up for me, because if I had my own signature program, I would be keeping 100%, not 40%. All right. So that's the first thing. We generated $15K in 21 days. Okay, Marilyn. All right. So listen, now don't judge me, y'all. When y'all get on here, don't judge me. Okay. Because this page that you see is the actual page that I used in 2018 when we did our very first webinar challenge. And I appreciate you guys talking back to me, because I don't like to feel like I'm talking to myself. All right, so here's what we did. After we did the 8 webinars, and I said, oh, wow, this thing really works. Like, this is it. So I started doing a webinar challenge. We did 5-day webinar challenge. And then on the last day, we did a webinar. And we enroll people into our signature program, okay? Our signature program. Yes, 8 webinars. Russell Bronson says if you do 1 webinar every week consistently, you will make $1 million in your business, okay? I'm just saying. So here's what happened. The first time that we did the webinar challenge, day 5, I ended up doing my first $10,000 launch. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was broke, busted, and disgusted. And I ain't making this up. I remember my aunt and I were hanging out here at a concert over in Glen Allen, Virginia. I don't know if it was like the Temptations, 4 Tops, or somebody, but I remember that my watch, somebody say notification of payment received, kept going off. And I kept getting notification of payment received. And so when I got to the concert, I couldn't afford a glass of wine. But by the time my launch, somebody say launch, by the time my launch was up, baby, I said, Auntie, do you want a glass of champagne or a glass of wine or something, right? Because I generate revenue without being present. That's what it's all about. And so now that I had a process, now that I had a system in place, thank you, Ricky. We had a rinse and repeat system in place. And so 5-day webinar, again, boom. Webinar at the end, again, this time, tweak, optimize, $24,000, 1 launch, $24,000, 1 launch. Fast forward, February 2019, same process, same system. Did the 5 days, did the webinar, but wait, there's more. I layered it with a speaking opportunity. Sharon says that she speaks. So I layered it, the same opportunity, with a speaking opportunity at the Black CEO 2019 and generated $35,000. $35,000. So you do the math. I have my phone over here. So you do the math. That's $69,000 in 7 months. 2019, that was pretty good for me. Okay. That was pretty good for me. I was excited. If you would like to do $69,000 in 7 months in your business, type me. I'm just saying. All right. My goals are a little bit higher now, but back then 69,000 that was how much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I remember when I left my job, August 24, 2011, I went on leave of absence and I was probably making about $70,000. And here's how we have to be careful what we tell ourselves, you guys. So, because a lot of times we tell ourselves, I just want to make what I was making in corporate. So you got to be careful, because you can limit yourself of what success you can have in business by the words that we speak out the mouth. Okay, but we ain't come here to talk about that. But I just had to say that. It was on my heart. And so I had to say it. And that's what I did, right? I ended up making just about what I was making in corporate. Now, it was good, but I had limited myself. Can somebody say more? There's more, right? There's more out there for us. All right. So what ended up happening was, this was the webinar success blueprint. It is now called High Converting Webinars. And so KB, Keisha Bass, is one of my students. She actually found me on Facebook, watched all of my videos on Facebook, got mad at me because they weren't on YouTube, but that's another story for another day. Okay. But she watched all of them, came to the webinar, ended up getting in the class, enrolled in High Converting Webinar, learned how to do profitable webinars. She had a YouTube program sitting on the shelf. She had 350 people register for her very first webinar. 100 people showed up live. This was before SMS and text messaging and all of that. This was before that. By the end of her launch, she had her very first 5-figure launch with her own product. And that's just with a list of 4,000 people. All right. I tell myself, I want to make more. That's right. You got more. You want to make more than what you make in corporate. Okay. That's just your minimum. Like what you make right now in your job is your floor. It is not your ceiling. All right. So here's what I want you to understand. How many of you actually have a signature offer? Type offer in the chat. If you have a signature offer, type offer in the chat. Because I'm here to tell you that one program will change your life if you let it. And that's what happened with high converting webinars, rebranded from Webinar Success Blueprint. That changed my life because now I was able to serve people and help people solve a problem by my knowledge and my expertise. All right. So one program will change your life. So here is what happens, right? You position your expertise in front of the right audience. That's what is most important when you are doing these type of presentations, because I consider this to be a signature presentation. I can take this presentation and take it to any stage that I am on when someone invites me to come speak about webinars. This is your signature presentation. But here's the key. It has to be in front of the right audience. The reason why you click the accept button was because you are interested in learning how to monetize webinars in your business. And I see that several of you already have an offer. So you have half the battle down. It's just a matter of how do we position it, right? In order to get the right person in front of your offer. So when you position your expertise in front of the right audience, your conversion increases regardless the size of your email database. Come on, somebody. I love to teach this. Like I love teaching this because I love to help people understand what you could be doing to take your business really to the next level. All right. And so here's the thing. So when I ask you, who do you serve? And you can type it in the chat because this is how I'm getting to know you. Because I know that several of you have an offer. Several of you want to make more. Several of you would like to have 69,000 minimum in your business, right? So I appreciate you talking back to me. But when I ask you, who is your audience? If you tell me everyone, let me tell you why that's hurting your business. Because when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Ouch. When you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. But when you move from speaking to everyone and convert to speaking to the one, you position yourself to make more money. Do I need to repeat that? When you move from speaking to everyone, everybody, and you converting to speaking to the audience of one, you position yourself to make more money. So that means that you have to refine, or what they call niche down, to your audience. Who are you looking to help transform? Now, this can be used by anyone that is selling a product, service, products, services, consulting can use this particular mechanism or conversion event is what I like to call it. So a lot of people say, well, can this work in my industry? I don't care if you work with corporations, if you work with organizations, B2C, B2B. If you are here to educate your end user on how you can help them transition or transform, can work for you. All right. Here's what you need to understand. And I think people get caught up on the word itself, webinar. Like people get so caught up on that word. Okay. But I want you to understand, I'm telling you about a vehicle used to transfer information to the end user so that they can make an educated buying decision. I need you to understand that you are helping them to make an educated buying decision. That's it. That's all. All right. So we got professional women, business owner, retirees, change managers, project managers. Yes, I love it. So here's what this platform, this mechanism, this conversion event can do for your brand. It builds authority. People are coming to hear your expert level of teaching, my friends. It builds your tribe. Guess what? I hope that all of you continue to follow me. You are now new friends. Are we new friends? I gotta laugh sometimes. Like when you work alone at home, you just gotta laugh sometimes. But it also builds your email list. All right. So typically when you do a webinar, you have people that they register for your webinar. That's typically how it works. So you're building your database, you're building your email list, and someone says they want to do 8. So imagine if you continue to push those 8, your email list will grow. And then when you pitch, you generate revenue. And what I like to see is it creates a freedom-based lifestyle, because once you get this thing going and it starts to convert, you can automate. Somebody type automate. Now, I want you to understand that the numbers the conversion rate does drop sometimes with automated webinars because people know that it's not live, right? However, it still converts. And so last June, I was at the mastermind event, and I had did a webinar on Monday, and it converted. I was like, oh, we're gonna evergreen this. We're gonna evergreen. And so we were by the pool. We were poolside. And I had sent out an email that I was hosting a webinar, and it was the one from the previous Monday. So it was evergreen at this point. And so listen, when that thing say somebody had purchased my program, and I'm by the pool, y'all, I'm by the pool hanging out with 6, 7, 8-figure earners. That's what I'm talking about. Like that's what I'm talking about right there. But I tell my people, I tell everybody, you can't automate it until it converts, okay? I hate to step on your toes. You can't automate until it converts. Those who are tired of answering to everyone's expectation of who they are and walk in the identity they were born into before others changed it. All right. I like that. So webinars generate leads. How many of us need leads? Everybody's hand should go up. You need leads? Lead generation is the process of acquiring data from an audience who may potentially have the problem that you solve. This is a lead generation tool, and I need you to look at it as so. All right. And so this is the path to profits. We're going to talk really quickly about the components of a profitable webinar. I hope y'all are taking notes. Y'all taking notes? Because I'm going to teach you what needs to go into your actual presentation. All right. So number one, you want to build a connection. This is why at the beginning, I told you a little bit about myself. Was a lot of times when I tell my story, I resonate with moms, I resonate with empty nesters, I resonate with people who are looking to have a freedom-based lifestyle. This is why I share my story. So the foundation of any high converting webinar starts with establishing genuine trust with your audience. They need to know, like, and trust you. And right now, they are in what we call a trust recession, where people are taking their time to make decisions because they've been burnt. I call it coach hurt. People have been burnt, and that's just the truth of the matter. All right, so what we do is we are authentic. Authenticity builds trust instantly. What you see right here is what you get. This is how I show up in training. This is how I show up in mastermind. This is how I show up in our 2-day intensive. Like this right here is the level of energy you're going to get, not just because we are here. All right. I think C. Blackman is on here. She's probably been to a couple of my trainings and probably can tell you that, yeah, this is Dakisha. So I always show up as my real self, not some polished persona. Because I want you to know that you get in the real deal. Okay. And so I also talked about sharing your journey. Your personal story creates powerful relatability. A lot of times we don't want to share the times where we struggle. We always want to share what wins. But our clients, our prospects want to know that We understand where they are right now. We understand that. And so I also want you to understand you share relevant information. So make sure that you're sharing information that relates to your audience. Don't be sharing stuff just to be sharing stuff. Like, make it relatable to the ultimate topic. All right. So, and then data, numbers. We all love statistics in our webinar. We all love those. So add them where you see fit. Now, what we call the meat and the potatoes. It's the heart of the webinar. This is the delivery. This is about 20 to 25 minutes worth of content, okay? This is where you demonstrate your expertise and provide genuine value. Focus on solving one specific problem your audience faces, delivering actionable insights that they can implement immediately. How about that? Something that they can implement immediately. Then the last piece is the close. The close is where the connection and the content convert into a conversion, or it converges into a conversion. So after you build the trust and you deliver value, your audience asks, well, what's the next step? This weekend, we did a 2-day intensive on building out a profitable enrollment system, a client enrollment system. We spent 2 days together for 5 hours each day. It ended up being 11 hours. On day number 2, we had a participant said, listen, I'm ready for the mastermind. You know that you are doing what you're supposed to do and you are adding value when you are teaching. And before you even pitch, I'm ready. I'm ready for the next step. I also had another client that we were doing a one-on-one with, and she's doing webinars. She does business funding. So if y'all need business funding, I'll tag her. But she wrapped up her one-on-one sessions with me, and that's the first thing she said. She was like, all right, Nikisha, what's next? How do I continue to work with you? That warms my heart because I know that they see value. And I know if you are in here, if you have come to today's training, you want to give your people value. I know that. Because why do I know that? Like-minded people attract like-minded people. Now, how many of you have said that it's really hard to convert people into your program? Has anybody felt like, it's like pulling teeth, Keisha? It's like so hard to get people to close. I got something for you. And I want you to, you can take a screenshot. Now, if you take a screenshot, you got to tell me, so you can get my good side. Just kidding. All right, so this is what I like to call, we call it a profit pyramid. Respect that definitely goes a long way with me when folks are themselves and not trying to sell me on something. Absolutely. So here's some math for my people that like math in the chat, okay? Anybody like math? I know Michael said he don't like no math. His wife like math. But here's some math. And so if you've ever run ads on any social media platform, you know that 1 to 3% of the audience are ready, willing, and able to buy. I'm going to say that again. 1 to 3% of your audience is ready, willing, and able to buy. All right, so I have some coaches, consultants on here. So I'm just trying to think of who we have. I know Kev does with the schools. I tell myself I want to make more. We got Sandra. I was just trying to see professional women business owners. So Sandra works with professional women and business owners. All right. So most of you all said you had offers. And so 6 to 7% of your audience, whenever you are speaking, they understand that they have a pain point, Sharon. However, you have to show them how what they're doing is continuing to cause them pain. So they already know that they're in pain, but you have to show them why certain behaviors that they're doing is continue and will continue to cause them pain. That's the 6 to 7% that already know that they have a problem, right? They know that they're in pain. They know they need help. They may just not know where to go to get the help. That could very well be it. That's where you come in. That's where your education come in. All right. Now, then you have people that sometimes they don't even realize that they are causing themselves a bigger problem. All right. So we've got 6 to 7% that know that they are in pain, and they need you to help them show them why what they're doing is continuing to cause them pain. Then there's 30% that, they're like, I know I need help, but I'm going to try and continue to do this the way that I'm doing because I know that it can work, instead of making the investment and allowing you to give them the exact process or the exact steps on how to, is it escalate? Don't want to say escalate, but move them to the results faster, right? And so let me say it like this. There are some people that know that they want to use webinars, right? They know they should be using webinars. When you ask them what they stop eating at night. Yeah. So I'm here to tell you, like, you want to use webinars in your business. I'm educating you on why you need to do it sooner rather than later, right? Like, I'm here to educate you that you're losing out on money. Like, how much is your offer? Type it in the chat. Like, if somebody's offer is $997, $1,000, all right? Let's just say that you can get 10 people, well, at least 2 people to purchase every time you do your webinar. That's $2,000. Propel, thank you. $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 a month. So every week that you are not doing a presentation, you are losing $8,000. Ouch. Multiply that by 12. That's how much you lose every year that you don't implement a process where you have a conversion event every week in your business. Expedite. There you go. Expedite. Propel. I love it, y'all. All right. So 30% of people that they heard of webinars don't really think that webinars could work in their space or in their industry. That's where I come in. And then there's 30% of people that are like, I don't think webinars will work for me. That's where I come in. My job is to show you how you can use them any industry that you are in. And then there's 30% at that bottom. I'm going to leave them right where they are. You want to know why? Because they want to sit in pain and they want to waddle in pain. And what I don't do is convince. I'm not in the business of convincing. I'm not going to convince you that you should be using some type of client and enrollment event. If you want to continue to be the dog that howls on the nail, so be it. See you next year. Just saying, y'all. Just saying. Just trying to keep it real. Knowledge is the new currency. It's our job. It's our job as professionals to educate our audience. Is this good or yes or yes? Is this helping somebody? Yes or yes? I need to know whether or not I need to come back again. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So real quick, these are the phases that you need to go through as you are building out your webinar campaign leading up to your next launch. All right. Phew. I can come back and continue teaching. All right. So prospecting. What does prospecting mean? That means understanding your audience. Promote the problem, service the solution. A lot of people get hung up. Well, I don't have my course made out yet. Listen, I taught mine live. I taught it live. But if you can promote the problem that you actually solve, and then you service the solution, that's where you come in. That's where you make the money. We ain't in the business of saving folks. So our job is to understand what their struggles are, what keeps them up at night, and to create a craft and offer that solves that problem. So you want to make sure that your messaging, this is the piece where people miss. You want to make sure that your messaging speaks directly to the problem. So there's a question on YouTube. Should your webinars be free or a small fee? All right. So here's my answer to that. That is a great question. If you are a new person building your audience and you do not have an audience, you want your webinars to be free. There is a lower barrier to entry. Got it? So if you have an audience and you want to eliminate tire kickers If you want to weed out the non-buyers, then you can actually add on a small investment for your webinars. That's how I tell people to do it. What I'm not going to do is tell someone that is trying to build an audience to go out here and start charging. You haven't built the relationship enough to start charging for webinars. Now, are they public or private? So if I'm building my list, then I want them to be private because I want you to come into my space. If I am doing a training where I want to reach a larger audience, it can be public. This is public. Okay. Now, we have trainings that we do every month that is private. Those are for people that are already making over $8,000 a month in their business. They come to a private training. All right. So that's a great question. All right. So you want to use the webinar to address the problem and then position your offer. That's what you're doing. All right. So Rob Youngblood, a lot of my LinkedIn folks usually know that name when I say Rob Youngblood. He is the LinkedIn locksmith. And so he actually participated in my webinar challenge. And he actually participated in a live stream as well. And so I was giving tips on what to do and what not to do for a webinar. And he came back and he sent me a video and gave me some of his stats. So he actually, he did something on LinkedIn. And so he had 100 registrations, 41 participants. He ended up booking 11 calls and he had already closed 2. So he had a 41% show rate and 5% close rate on his webinar. And he still had 11 calls to go. Crazy, right? And that was just off a live stream. So imagine what you can get if you decide that you are like, all right, Akeisha, you know what? I want to have a conversation with you. I want to see what that looks like. So resolution. Do you know the problem that you solve? Do you have the offer? Most of you, under the sound of my voice, said you already have an offer. So you've crafted your solution that solves their problem. And so this goes back to the point of sell it, then service it. Some people don't feel comfortable doing that. But if you need to generate cash flow, I sell my courses, then I create them, especially if it's a brand new one. Most of the time, the first cohort gets the benefit because they get me live. So I love to sell it, then service it. All right, optimize. What does that mean? Build your own stage. That's really what you're doing. So a webinar is your own stage. Instead of waiting for someone to invite you to speak to their platform, this is your opportunity to build your own stage. How many of you want to speak on more stages? Type me in the chat. Anybody want to speak on more stages? As a matter of fact, we're doing the Global Women's Conference in March. So we are looking for speakers. Okay. All right. So you want to create a space where people are coming to hear your level of expertise. All right. All right. So Monifa Groover, she's very active here on the LinkedIn platform as well. Long story short, before working with Akeisha, she was always resistant to webinars, but she wanted to see if she could create another level of breakthrough in her business. And so after joining our program, she was able to step outside of her comfort zone and launch her first webinar. She was able to generate the most money that she'd ever made in her business. And she generated $6,200 during our time together. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right, so listen, here go some numbers. Remember I said numbers? We love stats. Use the webinar to build your list of people waiting to work with you. So a lot of times I teach, and I do some videos as well on the client journey, right? So awareness, consideration, and conversion. And that's all this is. Like, oh, this is awareness for your brand. This is people raising their hands saying, oh, I want more information. So you're taking people through the client journey. But you also have to understand that 30 to 40%, I want you to write this down, 30 to 40% of the people who show up will become prospective clients. They are in your database. Sometimes it takes 2 years, 3 years, 6 months for people to become your client, but they're now in your ecosystem. Make sense? All right, I see some me's. All right, we're almost done. Focus. Focus is where you actually kind of lock in on understanding how to monetize your message. How do you get more clients based on what it is that you do? How do you convert more by having one-to-many conversation instead of one-to-one conversations? One of the things that we do to clarify our message and to make sure that we monetize our message, we do a deep dive audience understanding through AI analysis. We did this weekend. They have what we call a deep dive client avatar Bible. Like that's literally what we called it this weekend. And it goes through the demographics, but it also talks about psychographics. And so psychographics help you understand what motivates people to buy. That's what's going to help you as you do your sales conversation. Because a lot of times we have a tendency to focus on the features. We focus on, what we're giving versus the transformation that you provide. I feel like I'm preaching. All right. So that's how you position yourself as the expert, because you know what motivates them to actually pull out their credit card. All right. And so the last piece is really crafting an enrollment close that leave people asking, how do they work with you? How can I work with you? So the LaShonda Bracey, she's a previous client as well. Before working with Dakisha, she was struggling to price her launch, her signature product. And so after working together, creating workshops and challenges, she was able to launch a challenge, a 7-day government contracting challenge, where she enrolled $20,000 worth of clients in 1 month, literally 1 month. And so she created a 101 program, and she actually has a government contracting course. Well, she helps business owners like you and myself to get government contracts. Ignite. I don't know. I just love this word, but you set your promotional strategy on fire. Like people should be able to see you on every platform that you are on. That's a great question. What platform do you recommend building your course? So my courses are on High Level. I use a white label version of High Level called the Speaker CRM. Everything I do is based out of the Speaker CRM. It is www.speakercrm.com. That's the speakercrm.com. And y'all make sure you follow me. If you're not, I know we're connected. I hope we're connected. If we're not already connected. Oh, that's on YouTube. Hold on, y'all. Let me put this up there. So somebody asked, what platform do we recommend for building courses? So we use the speakercrm.com. It's a white label version of High Level. Great question. All right. Wanting to make sure that you have a follow-up sequence. Like this is, we all know, we're in business, that we know that we lose a lot of money when we don't follow up. And so when they register, you want to make sure you have a follow-up sequence to increase your show rate. We use SMS sharing. So our CRM platform has SMS as well. And so we use SMS to help increase our show rate to 40 to 50% every single time as well. So I highly recommend my clients to use SMS. And then the last piece is the transformation. This is a time where you own your space, confident in providing the ultimate goal of transformation. You're welcome. So listen, webinars are a part of sequence activities utilized online to convert prospects into paying clients. Let me say that again. You just found me on Facebook. Yes. To watch, I got plenty. Well, sometimes they delete, Facebook deletes them on after 30 days. I couldn't get it out to save my life. But what I'm going to do is you can also follow me on LinkedIn. So I'll give you my LinkedIn as well. YouTube. I'm having a moment, y'all. So this is my YouTube. So if you don't see, like videos on Facebook, you can always find me on YouTube. And I've got more and more long form content if you want to learn about enrolling clients into your signature offer, because that's really what it is. All right. All right. So 3 things you need to master online event. Anyone learn anything today? I got through this in like 40 something minutes. I'm excited. All right. So the number one thing that you need to master online events is prospecting. You have to be super clear on who you are speaking to, because you potentially attract the wrong audience. Number 2, you want to have clarity around the problem you solve. Be very specific about how you can help them solve their problem. And then the last thing, the results you provide. Listen, people buy results. People buy results. All right. So let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying the training so far? Yes, Michael, it's Monday. Listen, it does happen. Sometimes we just have these moments. So no worries. If you are on YouTube, it is the replay is going to stay on YouTube, so you can watch it from the beginning. I am totally fine with that. I'm going to leave it up there. I'm not a gatekeeper. Are you ready to take it to the next level? I do have an opportunity to work with us. It's an entry level opportunity, so I would love to have a conversation with you as well if you would like to have a conversation. So I'm going to put the link. If you want to have a conversation with me, I would love to. I want to make sure I spell my name correctly. But I am, like, for those learners that like to do self-led learning, I do have an opportunity if you want to start implementing profitable webinars. So this is where it starts, because you have to believe that people will pay you what you worth. That's the difference of y'all that are charging $47 and $997 and $9,997. All right. So I started this. You are welcome, Sharon. I started this because I had the desire to have a global brand and not a local brand. When I started out in business, I didn't want to just have business in Richmond, Virginia. I wanted to be able to connect with all of you from Philadelphia and Maryland and everywhere else that you guys are connecting from. Like, I love this. So, but here's what happens. We have to break old habits. All right. So a lot of us invest after course, after course, after course, and we actually don't implement. So I have an opportunity for speakers, authors, coaches, and consultants. And so where do I start? www.thespeakercrm.com. We have the opportunity for you to get high converting webinar for $297 today. $297, right? That's it. That's all. And so here is what's going to be included. This is the course that I have been teaching people that want to get started using webinars in their business. Sorry, all right, let me take this stuff off. All right, speakercrm.com. So what are you going to learn inside high converting webinars? You're going to learn the system to create a high converting or profitable webinar. You are going to get more registrations. You're going to get email sequences for registrations, reminders, and replays. And for those of you all that don't have a system, I'll give you 30 days. Free access to the Speaker CRM. And where's my team? Is somebody from my team on here? Y'all write that down, because y'all know I'll be on here promising stuff. All right, here's what you're going to get. So we're going to DM Sharon. We want to talk sooner rather than later. So here's what you're going to get. $997. The actual course, which is valued at $997. And so here's what I'm going to do for you. If you do your webinar within 45 days, I'm going to give you a free analysis on your first webinar. So here's what happens. A lot of people will go out and do the webinar, and then they're like, well, did it work? Dakisha, how can I make it better? I have a tool that I use to analyze your first webinar, and I'll let you get access to that. All right. We're going to give you follow-up sequences, email templates for higher conversion rates. Like I told you, we do a workshop every single month. So I'm going to give you the exact emails that we use. And then today only, we'll give you 3 months access to our live monthly Q&A sessions on the first and third Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And so for those that take action while we are here right now, I'll give you a private one-on-one session. I believe it's 60 or 90 minutes. So the bonus for today is a free analysis on your very first webinar. So all you have to do is send me the recording and I'll do an analysis on your webinar. Number 2, I'll give you the template that we use for these slides, right? To make sure that you're putting yours in order the way they need to. And then of course, our email sequences. And then today only, while we're here live, because these bonuses disappear, 3 months access to live monthly Q&A session, first and third Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's a 30-minute private jumpstart call. It is the fast action bonus for those of y'all. So there should be a QR code that's going to come up. But listen, for those of y'all that are still here, if you could sell with one webinar and generate revenue, would it be worth $297, $300? Like if you could sell with one webinar and have more clients, would that be worth $300? Oh, wait, there's more. Oh, if you pay in full, which I don't even know if there's, I don't think there, well, anyway, if you pay in full, I got 5 AI prompts. So we use AI with webinars. I'll give you 5 AI prompts to amplify your webinar. Ooh, that's good. Okay. All right, y'all. So you got 2 choices. You can keep doing this alone, or you can work with an expert like myself. Here is the code. I'm going to actually scan this one myself. And I'm not sure of my team, but we got an email or DM. So if you scan the URL, I know it's a delay. Oops, I'm knocking over water. That's not good. All right, good. Scan that code. It will take you to the link, and we will drop that link in the for you. $297. So if high converting webinar generated an additional 10K in revenue for you, would it be worth it? I see some yeses. So if you enroll by, I'll say tonight, and you'll receive free analysis on your very first webinar within 45 days, customize a slide deck template that you can use to put your slide deck together. And then pre-written 14-day promo follow-up email sequences will be in the membership portal. All right. So for staying to the end, Zena, I'm so glad you learned a lot. I'm going to give you access the webinarchecklist.com. We're going to put that on the screen too. Oh, all these comments. I missed all these comments. So there you go. Thank you for inviting folks in. Thanks for sharing. I'm not sure, Michael, if you shared it out. I appreciate you inviting. So this is your free gift for staying to the end. Make sure that we are connected. Send me a message and let me know your biggest takeaway. Let's get on the phone. Let's have a conversation. That's your free gift. I don't mind giving out gifts. All right. If we are not already connected on here, we should be. We need to be. Make sure you hit that button. And then also follow me on Facebook. So listen, I tried my best to get this in 60 minutes or less. I appreciate every single last one of you. If you do want to have a conversation, call Dakisha.com. It's that easy. www.calldakisha.com. And let me go back, and I'm going to leave this slide up. Any questions while we're here? Any questions about webinars? Like, use this time. I got a few minutes to answer any question. And then I'm going to give you back your day. And I know there's a little lag. Going once, going twice. Listen, my name is Dakisha Williams, your webinar and business strategist. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Have a great one.